Man United want to add strikers to their playing staff that carry that physicality factor, the power and the pace. We heard the story about Ruben Amorim not feeling like this Manchester United side were up to the physicality side of things and could compete with Spurs in the midfield and forward areas. So United's transfer targets are set to be forwards that add that physicality, that power, that directness. That's why they're looking at the likes of Delap. We don't know if that's going to happen, but we're hearing stories today that Manchester United are now well and truly in the race for Jean-Philippe Mateta. There is concerns that with the defeat to Spurs the other day in the Europa League final, Manchester United's desired striker, who is Victor Gyökeres, is now going to turn the club down because there is no European football on offer. This is Forever United TV. This is your midday update on everything going on around Manchester United. We're heavy on the transfers and the incomings and outgoings this lunchtime, everybody. So get your pens ready, get your notes written down, and get your comments into me in reply to all of this news, whether you like it, whether you don't, whether you think there's a different option for Manchester United. I want to start with the story on Jean-Philippe Mateta and why Manchester United would look at a player who is going to turn 28 in January. Doesn't really fit the profile which Ineos have been going for before, but this is a story that's been rumbling for a few months now, and Manchester United realistically looking at targets they feel they can bring in with having no European football that are Premier League proven and ready to go. Jean-Philippe Mateta, this story came up from Simon Stone of the BBC 2 months ago, in fact, and Graham Bailey has backed this up again today, and L'Equipe have also come in on this now. The French side of things, obviously with that French connection with Philippe Mateta. It is now being said that United are well and truly interested in Mateta. Is this plan B? Are Manchester United having to look at other targets because we haven't got Champions League right now? Is this the calibre of striker Manchester United fans can expect to come into the club this summer with what is going on right now? With the budget the way it is, Graham Bailey has said that Manchester United and around the club there is an expectance that Bruno Fernandes will stay at Manchester United. So the way of getting out of these deals is by selling someone like Bruno, who's going to fund the whole summer if he goes. If United do keep him and Ruben Amorim gets his way, United have to be clever with what they do in the window. And this is where you'll see Philippe Mateta come forward. Like I just said, not the ideal profile for United in terms of age, in terms of sell-on. There is none, and obviously, with him turning 28, he is probably going to be the oldest player that Ineos so far under their regime have brought into Manchester United, if these reports are true. And now you can argue that Jean-Philippe Mateta is not the calibre of striker that Manchester United should be going for. This season, he's got 17 goals and 4 assists. That's like double what... well, that's basically, well, you add them together, in fact. That is Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee put together. Never mind double what Rasmus Højlund has got. That's both of our main strikers and our forward options put together in one season. So you're thinking, right, one-hit wonder, one season, well done, Mateta. Still not the right calibre for Manchester United. Season before that, he did even better. 19 goals and 6 assists. And this is a striker that is clearly starting to gather momentum, understand the Premier League, and get better and better and better. And this is why Manchester United are looking at Mateta. The reports are that they have been monitoring him as an option for a striker to come in who has got that power, that pace, that presence up front that United lack right now, and obviously has got Premier League proven experience. The one thing that is attracting Manchester United to this player, obviously because, like I said, this isn't the usual profile of player, but Jean-Philippe Mateta's contract ends next summer. He's only got 1 year left to run on his deal, and United feel like they can get in here and get a good deal done and get him on the cheap. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, are trying to actually get Jean-Philippe Mateta to sign a new contract. Now that they have Europa League football, let's not forget that could obviously throw a spanner in the work for Manchester United. And no matter which way United turn at the moment, the strikers that they're looking at have got better options all over the place. Have we got enough to attract these players in? The one positive would be that Mateta would know he would be Manchester United's #1 striker if he came into the football club. Without question, he's better than what we've got. Is that enough for him to sign? That's the point I think Manchester United will try and drive across to Mateta. And this is all off the basis that we are looking into Mateta, and why I'm bringing this news up right now, because these are the reports that are going around. It does seem like a plan B and lower down the list in terms of calibre of striker. It really does. The question you've got to ask yourself is Mateta better than what we've got? Yes. Does he bring the Ruben Amorim physicality factor to Manchester United's forward line? Yes. And is he the right type of player that can handle the Premier League? I think 3 years in, we can clearly see that with his goal output and what he's done, progressively getting better and better, he definitely can. So it is a tick in that box. Whether you like it or not, these are the type of players that Manchester United are probably going to have to go for now. In the news as to why Manchester United are looking at Mateta as well, clearly is we are lacking in numbers. It may be that we don't actually just buy Mateta. There could be a scenario where United get another striker in. We know about Delap and he is still making his mind up. But this is all because Rasmus Højlund, according to reports now, has tried or is trying to push for a move away from Manchester United. Romano came out yesterday and said that communication has been made between Manchester United and several Italian clubs as close as March. These contacts have been made. Rasmus is the one pushing this move. He is the one that is looking to get away from Manchester United. He knows that this summer Manchester United have made it clear they're going for forwards, and his time at United, which at the moment is playing every single game because there's no one else available, his time at United could be up in terms of game time, in terms of the amount of appearances he's going to get. He isn't going to be Man United's number one. There is talk of maybe the shirt being taken away from him if another adequate striker comes in, and that number 9 going to somebody else. This is the changes that were necessary at Manchester United anyway, and it does look like the players are actually cottoning on. Is this a sign that Manchester United have already let the players know? And why we're getting certain performances from these players? Do they know that their time is up this summer? I hope this is the case. I really do, because these players really have proven to every single one of us as Man United fans that they are just not good enough for this team. And I think Rasmus looking for a new club is a sign. I think United looking at several strikers is definitely a sign as well. I just don't see United getting one striker if Rasmus also leaves. United are going to have to work overtime to try and get any sort of deal for Rasmus Højlund and get that over the line. Let's not forget there is interest in Xerxes as well in this. But just to round up everything there and what's actually going on right now, Manchester United want Victor Gyökeres. I don't think anything is going to happen in the striker department in terms of transfers in or out until after Sunday. That's when the Portuguese Cup final is. That's the last game of the season for Victor Gyökeres, in which he has said a decision will be made after that. Whether or not Manchester United being out of Champions League is going to affect that, United would then move down to Plan B, and United have already made contact with Jean-Philippe Mateta, and that move could happen. Rasmus Højlund is already looking likely to be leaving Manchester United and trying to manifest a move away from the football club. And United, by all accounts, according to Samuel Luckhurst as well this afternoon, Manchester United are giving up on Alejandro Garnacho. He has become a major problem behind the scenes at Manchester United, and his attitude and issues with his agents that came to the fore after the Europa League final have really made decision makers at United start to think about what happens going forward. Garnacho is now very, very likely to leave Manchester United this summer, which will help fund the necessary strikers and other forwards to come in. Let's not forget, Manchester United wants 16 million for Garnacho, which would be 100% profit. Whether or not they could make weight, that's in selling Rasmus Højlund for a cheaper price and maybe losing a bit on Rasmus Højlund, but gained a bit on Garnacho. Maybe that helps them make that move happen. That could literally fund a move for Mateta and for Matheus Cunha all in one go. That's as simple as transfers can be done this summer. Let's not forget, people quoting financial fair play are wrong right now. Financial fair play has got nothing to do with Manchester United this summer. We're dealing with PSR because we're out of Europe. So we don't have to abide by any UEFA rules or regulations with financial fair play. It's PSR. It's the Premier League version. And right now, Manchester United, with that homegrown talent factor, that's what they can push down on this summer, and that's where the avenue and the angle might be with all of the transfers going down. Garnacho out to fund 2 other forwards coming in. That looks likely now and could help cover the gap in what we will have to sell Rasmus Højlund for. How keen are Manchester United to make a difference? Are they going to take a loss on the PSR side of things per particular one player, as in selling Rasmus for less than what they bought him for and in what they still owe, taking a PSR loss that is then going to be covered by selling Garnacho as 100% pure profit as an academy player? Tried to explain a little bit in there in terms of what Man United can and can't do. But Mateta is on the radar. Gyökeres, we're not going to know until Sunday. Gyökeres' decision could trigger Manchester United to go all in on players like Mateta and try and force the decision out of Liam Delap as well. After the Premier League season finishes, the Portugal Cup final this weekend as well, it is all going to start happening around Manchester United. So by Monday, I think we're going to have a really, really good idea as to what is actually going on. But this lunchtime, 23rd of May, that is your midday update on everything going on with United. Garnacho out, Rasmus out, Mateta in. Still a possibility of Victor Gyökeres, but we're not going to know until the end of this weekend. Let me know your thoughts on that, everybody. Get your comments in below. Is Jean-Philippe Mateta good enough for Manchester United? Why am I even asking that question, some people will ask. Look where Palace are. Look what competitions are in. Look where Manchester United are. Is Jean-Philippe Mateta going to take that drop and come to Manchester United? Could be a question that some of you are asking in the comments section. You tell me. Let me know. Cheers, everybody. Pop a like on the video if you're loving the content, and make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay fully up to date with all Manchester United news on and off the pitch around Old Trafford. Cheers, everybody. See you later on.